Hi, I'm Mike Zwingman, Agronomy R&D Manager for Central Valley Ag. This is your Monday Agronomy Update video that coincides with the Reach Out article on the CVA blog site. In this week's article, I want to talk about a couple things pertaining to the 16 nutrients that your plants use. Now, I only have 11 of them on display today, but they break down into 4 simple groups. There's the primary macronutrients, there's the secondary macronutrients, there's the micronutrients, and then there's the other essential elements. So when you talk about these groups, when we talk about the primary macronutrients, it's the ones you always know: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. The secondary nutrients are calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. But there's one of these secondary macronutrients that we need to start taking a deeper look at and start treating like it's a little more primary than it is today. That's one is sulfur. Because of the way we use low sulfur diesel, lower emissions, and have less sulfur in our atmosphere, we are starting to mine sulfur from our soils. So we need to start thinking about sulfur, and especially in the way it's tied to nitrogen, and start to make sulfur more of a primary macronutrient. When we start to think about that, we start talking about nutrient pairing. Last week I talked about the staves in the barrel and talking about that law of minimums. One of the things we need to remember is how nutrients travel together. Sulfur is really critical when we start talking about nitrogen management. Whenever we have nitrogen, we need to have sulfur present. Those two nutrients need to go together because they're the building blocks of amino acids. Amino acids make proteins. Proteins make everything within the plant. We also need to consider potassium when we start to think about those groups. So as we're going out and making our fertility plans, we need to start thinking about how we're going to use sulfur to increase our nitrogen efficiency, to overcome sulfur deficiencies in our plant because of cooler soils and lower organic matters, and to really replace some of that sulfur we always got in rainfall. The other nutrients we need to start thinking about pairing up is phosphorus and zinc. Those two nutrients pair up together because zinc's the way we get phosphorus into the corn plant. It's the way we get phosphorus moving. It's the way the root pulls that phosphorus in through the cell membranes. And if we apply too much phosphorus, we create an imbalance and we don't have enough zinc to get that into the plant. These things, that moving sulfur up into the primary nutrient category. The other thing of making sure we understand nutrient pairing is one of the things we're going to focus on in some of the RD sites on how to improve your efficiency, improve your yields, and improve your bottom line. As always, be safe, and we'll see you next week.